Good morning, students. I am back with the third part of the chapter A Gift of Chappals, taken from class 7th English textbook Honeycomb. Now, let's do this last part, and it includes so many exercises, activities, and the question answers as well. So, let's start part 3. Now, children, before we start the last part of the story, let's do a brief summary of the previous parts. In the previous parts, we read that there was a girl named Mridu. She lived in Chennai along with her grandmother, and one day she decided to visit her aunt Rukkumani and meet her cousins Ravi, Lalli, and Meena. She came to their house, and Ravi was extremely excited to see Mridu, and he dragged her to the backyard of their house. He was very happy to show Mridu that they had kept a kitten in the backyard. He told Mridu that Meena had found this kitten in the front of their gate in the morning, and it was so hungry that they took pity on it and then brought it to their backyard. But this kitten was kept in complete secrecy because Ravi knew very well that if his Pati came to know about the kitten being kept in the backyard, she would leave their house and go to Gopu Mama's house. Ravi is actually very astonished and surprised at the behavior of the elders, at this hypocrisy of the elders. He always says that elders tell us to be very kind to the animals, to be sympathetic to them, but when they behave in such a manner, they get angry. So that is why he had to keep the kitten a secret from the elders. One more thing he told Mridu that he really faced a lot of problems in bringing milk for the kitten because nobody knew that a kitten was kept in their house in the backyard, and he had to pretend that he was very hungry, and then he had to get milk from the kitchen in a tumbler, and so that he could pour it in the coconut half shell for the kitten. Then afterwards, Ravi told Mridu that they had given a name to the kitten, and it was Mahendran. Full name was Mahendra Varma Pallava Punnai, MP Punnai for short. Mridu is very astonished because she says that these type of names are generally given to human beings and kittens are not given such names. Then Ravi told her that this was not an ordinary kitten. It was the descendant of Mahabalipuram Rishi cat. So it was a fine breed. And then he started bragging about his knowledge of history, and Mridu and Meena, they smiled at the cooked up story of Ravi. Then what happened, they heard the cry of a beggar. He was crying, he was shouting for alms, and while he was shouting, he had already entered their garden, and he was comfortably sitting under the shade of a neem tree. And when he was shouting, Rukkumani called Ravi, and she told him that he should go and tell the beggar to go away from their house because he had been coming there for last 1 week. So now it is high time he should go and find out some other house to beg from. She was very irritated and fed up with this beggar. uh, Ravi went to the beggar and he told him that the mother had told him to go away and seek some other house to beg from. Beggar was extremely unhappy. He was very disappointed because he had been able to keep up his both body and soul together because of the alms given by the ladies of the house. They had been very, very generous and kind to the beggar. But now he was very disappointed and unhappy. So, this is the story we have read so far. Now I'm giving you 2 minutes to read the text. After this, what happened? You read the text. I'm giving you 2 minutes for that. Now, this is the last part of the text. Quickly read this. Children, I hope you have completed the reading of these two texts. Now, here comes the summary. The beggar sat up as he was told by Ravi to go from their house. He sat up straight and then he sighed. He was very unhappy. He was very sad. He looked at the sky fearfully because it was extreme summer. He told that he would go away after taking some rest because the tar had melted on the hot road and his bare feet had got blisters. He did not have any slippers to wear. He was barefoot and he had to go in the hot sun. Already his feet had blisters. The children got sympathetic towards him, and Mridu asked Meena and Ravi if they had a pair of slippers in the house. They wanted to help the beggar by giving him a pair of slippers so that he could wear them and then go in the hot sun. The search went on, but of no use, as the children's slippers would not fit the beggars. Children were very eager to help the beggar, as they were kind. You can see from the incident that they had kept a kitten in the backyard. It shows that they were very, very kind and very generous. So they looked all around the house and they wanted to see a pair of slippers that could be given to the beggar. But when they saw their slippers, it was too short. It would not fit the beggar. Then all of a sudden, Mridu noticed the pair of slippers in the veranda. When she entered their house, she had noticed a pair of slippers, which was of a big man having scrawny foot and long and thin man, and the mark of toes were clearly visible on the front part of the slipper. So Ravi and she told Ravi that they could take that slipper and give to the beggar. Ravi took the slippers and gave to the beggar and asked him to leave before anyone saw him, because they knew very well if the elders came to know about the slippers, then they would definitely scold the children. So secretly he again gave the slippers to the beggar and he told him to leave the house. The beggar wore the slippers and he vanished from there. He gave a lot of blessings to the children and then he went away. After that, the music teacher, he searched for his chappals in the veranda, the slippers in the veranda, because it was the slippers of music master. So he said that his slippers were brand new and it was very expensive. And a search went on in the house. Rukkumani was called in and she started looking for music master's chappal, but they were not able to find it because the children had already given it to the beggar. So she came there with Pati and she rightly guessed, and she knew her children very well. She knew that it might be the mischief of the children. So she guessed that it was the mischief played by the children. She was very upset and angry. Music master was very angry, and Rukumani told that maybe children might have kept it somewhere. So music master called Ravi as the incarnation of Hanuman. It means, in other words, you can say he called Ravi a monkey. So Rukumani was very, very unhappy at this. She did not want her son to be called monkey. So she went indoors and then she brought Gopu Mama's new chappals and gave them to the music master. She apologized also to the master on behalf of her son Ravi. The music master's eyes lit up with joy because those chappals were brand new. So he put them on and called the children naughty monkeys. Mother did not like Ravi being called a monkey. So she went inside the house and thanked God that Gopu Mama's chappals were there. And she could at least she could give Gopu Mama's chappal to the music master and he would go from there. But then she also laughed to think how much upset Gopu Mama would be on his return, because she knew his habit that the moment he entered the house, he generally, takes off his shoes and then he wears his chappals. So, and then at the end, she declared that she would take all the blame on herself. She would not tell him that children had given it to the music master beggar. Music master's chappals were given to the beggar by children, and she had to give Gopu Mama's chappal to the music master. She would take all blame on herself. She would not let her children suffer anymore. So, children, this is about the summary of the text. Now, after the summary, this is vocabulary time. There are certain words written on the slide. These are the difficult words and I've given you the meanings as well. Just take note of it. The first word is gleaming. It means looking bright. Next is glanced, it means looked. Shabby looking, it means very ugly or unshapely. Nodded means shaking head, means shook head, nodded past tense. Sturdy means very strong. Muttering, it means speaking in a very low voice. Vanished means disappeared. Crouching, it is a position of sitting by bending our legs. Scurried, it means ran, moved. Harassed, it means troubled. Next is shiver, that means tremble. And the last word that I've written here is lurking around, that means moving secretly. So these are few difficult words which I noted from the text. If you come across some more difficult words, you can note down and then you can find out their meaning from the dictionary. Now this children, we are going to do the comprehension questions. The text that you have recently read, based on the text, these are few questions which I have framed. Now the first question is, how did her words affect the beggar? Next is, why did his feet have blisters? Next is, what did Rukkumani instruct Ravi? How did Ravi help him? What did the mother say about the mischief? How did she help the music teacher? And last question is, what made her laugh? Now children, in the first question it is given, how did her words affect the beggar? It is Rukkumani's words. Fine, when she told Ravi to tell the beggar to go away, how did he feel at that time? You have to write. Children, I hope you all must have written your answers. Now it's the time to check if your answers are correct. So these are the correct answers I have given here. The first, how did her words affect the beggar? So the answer is, the beggar sat up, he was very disappointed, he was very sad and weary. Weary means tired. The next question is, how did beggar get blisters? So the answer is, as he had been walking barefooted on the hot tar road. The next question was, what did Rukkumani instruct Ravi? The answer is, Rukkumani instructed Ravi to send the beggar away and tell him not to come again. The next is, what did Ravi do? He gave away the music master's chappal to the beggar. Now next question is, what did she think about the mischief? What did Rukkumani think about the mischief? It was, the mother thanked God that Gopu Mama had not worn his chappals to his work, so that now she had got the chance to give it to music master and save the children from his curses. Next question, what did she do? She gave away Gopu Mama's chappal to the music master. And what made her laugh? Last question, why did she laugh? The answer is, she laughed to think how Gopu Mama would react on losing his chappals. So these are the answers to the comprehension questions. I hope all of your answers must be correct. Now the next activity that we are going to do is speaking and writing. It is a very interactive activity. So it's a class discussion, group discussion, and two topics are given to you. We will discuss about these two topics, and whatever points we come up with, you will write in your notebook. So the first topic for discussion is, if you want to give away something of your own to the needy, would it be better to ask your elders first? I think this is a very common question, and we all face such type of things in our day-to-day life. So it is asked, if you want to give something of your own to the needy, is it better to ask the elders first? And the second question is, has Rukkumani done exactly the same as the children? In your opinion, then is it right for one party to blame the other? So in the text you have seen that children gave music master's chappal to the beggar, and Rukkumani gave Gopu Mama's chappal to the music master. So both of them had done exactly the same, but still Rukkumani blamed the children for doing such mischief. So is it right in your opinion? We'll discuss about it. Now children, I have written the value points, few value points of topic 1, and in the real classroom when physically all the children are present, we may discuss it and we may come up with some new points so that we all can jot down and then write it down in our notebooks. So first, check the answers. uh, if something belongs to you, is it important for us to ask the elders? Now few points are, if there is something that belongs to us, we can give or share it with anyone without the advice of elders. This is for sure, it is right that if something belongs to us, we can give it to anybody without the advice of elders. But yes, the permission, we should take the permission of our elders before doing anything. Everything we have is given to us by our parents. Now see, if you say that something which you have the right to give it to others, definitely it's right. But see, what you have, whatever you have is being given to us by our elders only. So whatever we do, before doing so, we must seek the advice of our elders, permission of our elders. So everything we have is given to us by our parents, so we should take their permission and ask them before giving it to anyone. Now it depends on the convincing power of the person. How are you able to convince your parents about what you are doing? And if you are giving it to anyone, you need to convince to their parents that whatever you are doing, it is a generous act and you must do it. Next is, it depends on the purpose also and the value of the item that we are giving away to someone. Sometimes it happens that the purpose is not very severe, not very big, or strong reason is not there to give away something. So for if small things are there, and if you give your things available in your house to anybody, it is not at all good. And it depends, the value of the item is also very important. If somebody asks you to give some valuable thing from your house, it's not that you can give them easily. So it depends on the purpose and the value. If the purpose is really very genuine, then after telling your parents or elders, you can do so. And we should decide it on the basis of the situation we are in. So it's not that in every situation, one thing, if I tell you that yes, you should give anything to anybody without the advice of your elders, if the thing belongs to you, it is not right in all the situation. So it depends on the purpose and the value of item. If somebody asks you to give your television set, of course it is not at all worth giving your television set or giving your mobile or any other valuable item of your house to anybody. So for that, you need to seek the advice of your elders. Now these are few points for the second answer. When Rukkumani also did exactly the same as the children, why did she blame them? So here some points are, Rukkumani was wrong. She must have been more strict with the children. She should not have scolded Ravi when she herself was laughing at the incident after a while. So if you remember, at the end of the story, we saw that Rukkumani laughed at the mischief of the children, and then she was laughing how Gopu Mama would react after coming to know that his chappals were given to music master. So when it means that she had been a bit strict with the children, that is why we can say that she was not right. If they had a friendly relationship with each other, even Ravi would not have felt restricted in giving music master's chappal to the beggar. He would not have to do so. He would have straight away gone to Rukkumani and he would have explained the situation to his mother, and then the mother would have helped beggar in one or the other way. So next point, Rukkumani had been put into an embarrassing situation by the children. The music master's chappal had gone missing from their home, and she had to compensate their act by giving the Gopu Mama's chappals to the teacher. It was right on her part to be upset. So when she was very angry and upset, this is another viewpoint, and it says that yes, the children had put her in embarrassing situation, and because the somebody else's chappal had gone missing from their home, so they were to be blamed for that. It was their responsibility to take care of the chappals. So, and she had to compensate the loss by giving Gopu Mama's chappal to the teachers. So it was right on her part to be angry with the children. And next point is, children and Rukkumani both were doing the same. So it was not right for either of them to blame each other. So they both were sailing in the same boat, so they should not have blamed each other. So these are different viewpoints that we may come up when we are actually discussing this question in the classroom. So it's not only few, but we may come up some more value points as well when we will be doing it in the class. The next activity that we are going to do is fill in the blanks. A paragraph is given to you and there are some blanks given here. You have to fill the blanks with the correct words given in the bracket. Now children, this is based on the exercise that we did in part 1, if you remember, if clause. So you can see in all the blanks, before the blanks, if clause is given, and the next blank is in continuation, is telling about the consequence. So it is in the continuation of the previous parts that we have done. So really help you out, one more exercise is given. Today is Sunday. I am wondering whether I should stay at home or go out. If I dash out, I dash the lovely Sunday lunch at home. If I dash for lunch, I dash the Sunday film showing at Archana Theatre. I think I will go out and see the film only to avoid getting too fat. So you can see 4 blanks are there. One is if clause and second one is in the consequence of the first part. So accordingly you have to fill the blank. I'm just giving you 1 minute. Just do it quickly. We have already done before. Yes, now let's discuss. If I go out, I will miss the lovely Sunday lunch. And if I stay for lunch, I will miss the Sunday film showing at Archana Theatre. So first blank is if condition and second blank is telling the consequence. Now the next exercise that we are going to do is complete each sentence below by appropriately using any one of the following. There are 3 options given to you: if you want to, if you don't want to, if you want him to. So out of these 3 you have to fill one in every blank. So the first is don't go to the theater dash. He will post your letter dash. Please use my pen dash. He will lend you his umbrella dash. My neighbor Ramesh will take you to the doctor dash. Don't eat it dash. So these are 6 sentences given here. Now you just, I'm giving you 1 minute to fill it up and then I'll give you the answer. Now children, I hope you all must have got your answers. Now see what is the correct answer. Don't go to the theater if you don't want to. He will post your letter if you want him to. Please use my pen if you want to. He will lend you his umbrella if you want him to. My neighbor Ramesh will take you to the doctor if you want him to. Don't eat it if you don't want to. Now the next activity is subject and predicate. Now subject and predicate you have already done in your previous class, but just let's brush up our knowledge. Do we remember it or we don't? See, every sentence is made up of 2 parts. The person or thing we speak about is the subject, and what we speak about that person or thing is the predicate of the sentence. So every sentence has a subject and a predicate. The person or thing we talk about is subject, and what we talk about the person or thing is predicate. For example, Saurabh passed the exam with flying colors. So whom are we talking about in this sentence? It is about Saurabh. So Saurabh is the subject here, and what are we telling about Saurabh? That he passed the exam with flying colors. So this is a description about Saurabh, means what he did, what we speak about him. So that is the predicate. So the first part, subject is Saurabh and passed his exam with flying colors, is predicate. The same way you have to classify the given sentences into subject and predicate. Ravi helped the beggar by giving music master's chappals to him. So whom are we talking about in this? Ravi. And what did he do? He helped the beggar by giving music master's chappal to him. So this is the predicate and Ravi is the subject. So this is how you're going to do the other parts as well. I'll read out the sentence for you and you will write in your notebook. Divide them into subject and predicate. Ridu lived in Chennai with her grandmother. Ridu felt pity for the poor beggar. Lali was trying to learn music. The music teacher called Ravi a naughty monkey. So now I hope you all will get all correct answers. Now I'm not going to give the answers of other sentences. I hope all of you have understood and you should write, you should get a practice of writing on your own. Now children, this is a very interesting activity. I'm sure you all are going to like it. It is based on listening and writing. So what we have to do here, we can ask the students to draw the face of a person in the top right hand corner of the page. Now see, instructions would be given by the teacher. Children would listen to the instruction and accordingly they will write. So first instruction is draw the face of a person in the top right hand corner of the page. Once they have done so, ask them to give the person a name. So next step would be to give the person a name. Then the children would be asked to write 5 adjectives to describe the person's appearance on the top left corner of the page. So after they have given the person a name, on the top left corner of the page, they will be asked to write 5 adjectives to describe that person's appearance. Next, they would be asked to write 5 more adjectives to describe the person's character. And after they have done this, we can ask the students to write 3 things that the person likes doing. And then we will ask them to write who the person lives with. So in this way, if they have listened to all these instructions carefully and they have followed it, they will be able to build up a character profile for the person they are going to write about. So we can take the help from the text also if you want them to write about beggar, Ravi, or maybe any other person. So if we give the children this way to write about the character sketch, it would be very easy for them to write the character sketch of the person, and they would not stress much, because when it comes to writing section, children are very much stressed out. They feel that they won't be able to write correctly. Writing the correct sentence is a bit difficult for the children. So in this way we can make it very easy for them to make a character profile. The next activity that we are going to do is pronunciation. Now children, you all must have seen there are a lot of silent letters in English. Now I have given here certain rules of these silent letters and the pronunciation of these words. The first rule is B is always silent when it is combined with T. Now we can take example, debt, doubt. So here B is combined with T, and whenever B is combined with T, it is always silent. So we pronounce it as debt or doubt. The next is D is silent when it is combined with G. Always D becomes silent when combined with G, like wedge, hedge. So these are the examples. You may write some more examples as well. Next rule is K becomes silent when it is combined with N. This is a very common words we know. K is silent when it combines with N. Knife, no. Next is N becomes silent when it is combined with M at the end of a word, like him. Here you can see N is silent and it is combined with M, and M is the second last letter of the word. So it is called as him. Now next is P is silent when it is combined with S at the beginning of the word. See, psychic, psychology, psycho. So these are the examples where P is silent when it is combined with S. So these are few rules about the silent words, and there are silent letters, and there are many more such rules. We can write some more examples, and it is a task given to you. Now you'll go back home and then find out some more example of some words where B is silent according to the rules. According to the rules, you have to find these words. Now our next activity is true or false. I have given certain sentences here based on the text. Now you will read them out and then you will find out whether these sentences are true or false. The first one is Ravi, Meena and Mridu were cousins. Next, Ravi showed Mridu a puppy in the backyard. Ravi did not face any problem in getting milk for Mahendran. Next is the beggar went away empty-handed from their house. Next, the music master was bald and had a bony figure. Ravi gave music master's chappals to the beggar. Rukkumani was happy at the mischief of the children. And the last sentence is Rukkumani compensated the loss of music master with money. So these are few sentences. Now I am giving you time to write down whether they are true or false, and then we will see the answers. Now children, you check your answers if you have got them correct. First is true. Ravi, Meena and Mridu were cousins. The second, Ravi showed Mridu a puppy in the backyard, is a false statement. Instead of puppy, he had a kitten in the backyard. Ravi did not face any problem in getting milk. This is again a wrong sentence. He faced a lot of problem in getting milk for Mahendran. Next is the beggar went away empty-handed from their house. No, he got chappals, slippers from the house. The music master was bald and had a bony figure. This is a right sentence, true. Ravi gave music master's chappal to the beggar. Again, it is a true sentence. Rukkumani was happy at the mischief of the children. No, she was sad. She was upset and angry. Rukkumani compensated the loss of music master with money. Again, this is a wrong sentence because she compensated the loss with Gopu Mama's chappals, not with money. So these are the answers. Now comes the recapitulation time. So we are going to recapitulate the text that we have done so far through a mind map. So this is about the chapter A Gift of Chappals, written by Vasantha Surya. Then you can write about the summary that we did, then comprehension questions, that is based on listening skill. Next we did vocabulary part, then we had a class discussion on two topics, that was your speaking skills. Then we discussed certain grammatical aspect, subject and predicate, and the continuation of if clause. Then comes writing skills. Yes, I told you to draw a character sketch, make a character profile of the person. So these are the few parts that we discussed in today's class. Now before we wind up the lesson for today, I've given you some home assignment. These are few questions that will cover up the entire text. So the question is, how does Ravi get milk for the kitten? Who does he say the kitten's ancestors are? Do you believe him? Give reason. Had the beggar come to Rukumani's house for the first time? And you have to give reasons for your answer. A sharp V-shaped line had formed between her eyebrows. What does it suggest to you about Rukumani's mood? The next is, on getting Gopu Mama's chappals, the music teacher tried not to look too happy. Why? On getting a gift of chappals, the beggar vanished in a minute. Why was he in such a hurry to leave? And the last question is, walking towards the kitchen with Mridu and Meena, Rukkumani began to laugh. What made her laugh? So these are few questions which you all will write in your notebook, and if you write them all correct, it means the entire concept of the chapter is clear. Thank you, children. Thank you very much. Hope this a small effort on my part would definitely help you in clearing all your doubts, and it will cover all the aspects of a language learning: listening, speaking, reading and writing. So all the activities related to these different skills have been included in it, and I hope this is surely going to help you. Thank you so much.